It is quite unfortunate that still some of the people are under the opinions, which includes intellectual, those people, those who are having intellectual background are also under the opinion. Now, with the advent of new technology which is made available for us, particularly this question I was encountered in Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration to train the IAS and IPS professional officers. After tsunami, the government of India seriously considered to introduce this activity to the IAS and IPS professional officers in the form of extracurricular activities to sensitize the officers in turn in times of emergencies, disaster times, when normal telecommunication fails. This type of communication can be utilized in a systematical manner. That is the idea behind this. And I have been deputed by the state government to train the IAS and IPS people. But one of the officer, young professional officer, he put this question, sir, with the he asked me, with the contest of with the advent of technology which is made available is abundantly, that means the cell communication cell phones are available for a cheaper rate, cheaper price. We are able to have communication, video communication and phone communication abundantly. In this contest, what is the contest of having going for a ham radio, which is a bit of difficult to get the license? He questioned me. But at the beginning, just I was a bit of it embarrassed me the question, but I never expected this sort of question from a person who is having such a background. That is basically he came from a IIT. He belongs to a creamy layer of IIT fraternity, and ultimately has been selected for IAS and IPS through the UPS examination. Then I questioned him, sir, whatever technology today we are having, that is cell communication or landline communication, that fails to operate, that fails to work in the event of one disaster. Today's technology, it's like that. It always fails whenever a disaster occurs. One super cyclone, what we experienced in 1999, and one earthquake after the subsequent year, here again on 2000 in Gujarat, that was wreaked a massive destruction. All the existing communication was failed. So-called prestigious cell towers twisted in 360 degrees. No other thing was available. The only one option was left with us, that is none other than amateur radio, since it is an independent communication system which never fails. Even a brief problem that can be rectified simply in a matter of minutes. The antennas, since the antennas are built by ham radio operators, easily one can erect without having any support. But whereas if a cell tower getting disturbed, that we need to have a massive support, technological support. Sometimes to rectify the tower, to put the tower in a proper working mode, we may have to wait weeks of time to get rectified. Whereas in ham radio, then in a matter of minutes, everything can be rectified. Normally, the antennas will get disturbed, but that can be rectified without having any problem. And again, more or less, what I have observed in the times of emergencies like cyclones and floods or earthquakes, ham radio works very nicely. The signals will be very, very strong, but I don't know the technical reason behind this. When I asked Mr. Rao, the veterinary ham radio operator, he told me maybe the reason behind this having a good communication in the event of floods or tidal waves which submerges the lands, and with sheets of water, the ground conductivity will be increased, which maybe helps us to have a better communication. So when I questioned the officer, is there any other alternative contingency plan of action to deal with the type of that situation? Is there any other alternative communication system is available for us other than ham radio? Even the most advanced countries like United States of America and British, the other countries also depends upon ham radio in the event of any type of disaster, be it cyclone, flood, earthquake, or any type of calamity. In the sports activity also, a ham radio will be used extensively. No other communication system is available. No other, since ham radio is an independent communication system, it is accepted, acknowledged worldwide. So we have to develop ourselves. Our country is having, even though we are having 140 crore people of population, we are second largest thickly populated country in the world, and we are having a massive youth power. That is 50% of our country population is less than that of 25 years of age. This advantage no other country is having. So why I am telling you is directly the technological development depends upon the ham radio operation. The country's development chiefly depends upon the technocrats of our country. Today, Japan is having more than 15 lakh amateur radio operators. Maybe that is the reason they are number one in the field of electronics. And after realizing this thing, China also encouraging ham radio activity. Subsequently, today, now China is producing Chinese made walkie-talkies and other things are available abundantly, competing with Japan. Wherever ham radio operators are, ham strength is more, their technology will develop. We are having only 20,000 radio operators. If this number increases, definitely our country will compete with other countries. Now, because lack of awareness, we are unable to compete with the small countries like Indonesia and other countries on par with their activity. So we have to motivate particularly to the youth towards this activity. If number of people joins in this activity, they will start discussing about technological things. Now with the whatever number of ham radio operators we are having, with this less number of ham radio operators, we are able to do wonders. Like just I would like to give some examples, like in Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Rao Vito RM, who was a retired port trust engineer. He has designed a transceiver, single sideband transceiver. Just only by investing 3,000 rupees, one can have this types of circuit and successfully they can have a long distance communication. And another person, Mr. Dr. Rajasekhar, V2H Mumbai, basically he was a aquaculture person, not at all belongs to electronics background. He is not having an electron background still, but he has considerably spent his time and money towards developing a 5-band transceiver. As a result of, he successfully brought 5-band transceiver. And one the other person, Mr. Naidu, Julu Alpha Julu, basically he was a doctor working as a professor in a medical college. He was entirely different to that of electrons field, but he could able to brought out a circuit software defined radio, the most costlier equipment in other countries. Lakhs of rupees we have to invest if you have to purchase a professional software defined radio, whereas Mr. Naidu brought it down, Indianizing the circuit, brought it down to the amount of somewhere else 8 to 9,000 rupees. A school going or college going student can afford to have this equipment lesser than that of any ordinary cell phone device. Easily one can afford to go all these things. And then the other thing is, just I would like to share Mr. Farhan and his team members, they could able to brought a BITEX transceiver, the all band transceiver, competing with any other professional made equipment. Instead of investing lakhs of rupees, we can go for BITEX transceiver nowadays. It's something like lesser than 10,000 rupees. Successfully, number of ham radio operators from India, even middle class people also can afford. They are able to come using this BITEX transceiver. Not only our country people, even the ham radio operators from the US, they are also looking forward very interestingly and enthusiastically to have a BITEX transceiver. Quite a big number of BITEX transceiver circuits are being exported to US and other developing countries. It is a great thing to know. Because of this ham radio operators, we are able to contribute ourselves in the field of electronics. Actually, that is the main idea of promoting this activity. With a less number of people itself, we are able to achieve such kind of things. The more number of people, if you could involve more number of youth, particularly youth and engineering students, if we could motivate them into this field, we'll have more number of people involved in this activity. As a result of which, definitely we will be the number one in the field of electrons in the coming years too. Definitely, we can prove ourselves, our youth power. No other country is having such a massive youth power. That is 50% of people are less than 25 years of age, and 65% of people are less than 35 years of age. If you could motivate more number of people towards this activity, definitely we will be number one in the field of electronics and replacing Japan and China. And this was readily agreed by the young officers. And initially, the ham radio operators who opted for this training program, only 13 people. After listening to my words, they have been motivated, and at a stage, more than 70 people have joined in this course, and that was a successful training program. Most of them have qualified. Now, just I would like to share this information. So now I think definitely this sort of news brings a positive change our attitude in positive side. So I request all the people, all the eligible people to go for this license. It is very, very simple to get a ham radio license. Recently, lots of changes have been brought. Earlier, getting a ham radio license, it's a very difficult thing. Now it is very, very easily can qualify with a background of people like diploma electronics, and with the intermediate, even 10th class people also qualified. Recently, 68 people were appeared in the examination. Out of 68, 67 have qualified in the examination, which was conducted in VR Siddhartha Engineering College of Vijayawada. So I'm requesting one and all to join in this bandwagon of ham radio to develop our country in the technological front, as well as for strengthening disaster management